As we all know, over 70% of our Earth is covered in water. The ocean is absolutely vast and still largely unexplored, which makes it the perfect place for spooky stuff to happen. You'd be surprised at just how many people go missing at sea each year, never to be seen again. On March 4, 1918, the U.S. Navy was sailing the seas with the Proteus-class collier named USS Cyclops. In 2011, an odd discovery was made by a team of Swedish divers. One of the most famous ocean mysteries of all time is the Bermuda Triangle. Back in 1872, a ship was found floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, but nobody was on board. In 1997, an underwater microphone detected a loud noise coming from somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave us a like and subscribe so you can be the first to know when we post a new video. Be sure to tune into our channel for more great videos like this one. Have a good one, everybody. See you next time. It was so loud that it was picked up by seismic sensors that were monitoring earthquakes around the world. It was later dubbed the Bloop, and scientists still don't have a good idea of what caused it. The sound was extremely low, so it couldn't be picked up by human ears. But scientists were able to use special equipment to listen in on the underwater microphones. They said that the sound was unlike anything they'd ever heard before, and they still haven't been able to figure out what it could have possibly been. Some believe that the bloop may have been created by a giant sea creature, like a whale or squid. But others believe that it was a natural occurrence. This is a scary one because if the bloop was actually caused by a giant monster lurking around in the depths of the ocean, then that means there are even more monsters out there that we haven't discovered yet. I am personally keeping my fingers crossed that it was just a one-time thing and there aren't any giant monsters living in the ocean. It was later learned that the ship had left New York City and was headed to Genoa, Italy when it went missing. But how did everybody just vanish? The ship was completely intact and was in perfect condition. There was no sign of foul play, damage, or anything. That could explain how the ship came to be abandoned. The only thing that was out of the ordinary was that the ship's lifeboat was missing. And while this is suspicious, it doesn't exactly explain what happened to the crew. We may never know what really happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste, but there are a few theories out there. The first theory is that pirates attacked the ship and took the crew hostage. But there's no evidence of this happening, as there was no struggle and no blood was found on the ship. Another theory is that the crew encountered a giant squid or some other type of sea monster and were pulled into the water and eaten. However, there's no evidence to support this claim either. And the last theory is that the crew probably didn't actually vanish, but rather abandoned ship for some reason or another. They probably saw that the ship was in some sort of trouble and tried to save themselves. Either way, we may never know what truly happened to the crew of the Mary Celeste. This is an area in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean where ships and planes have mysteriously disappeared. It's roughly shaped like a triangle and has 3 points. One point is located at Miami, Florida, another at Bermuda, and the third and final point is at Puerto Rico. But what makes this area so dangerous is unclear. For hundreds of years, sailors have reported strange and unexplainable things happening within this triangle, including erratic compass readings, sudden fog, and ghostly lights in the sky. And over the years, countless ships and planes have disappeared without a trace. Some blame it on storms, while others believe that there's something more sinister going on. There have been thousands of theories about what could be happening in the Bermuda Triangle, but nothing has been proven. Some believe it's home to a giant whirlpool that sucks everything down, while others believe it's haunted by ghosts. What we do know is that the Bermuda Triangle is home to some pretty rough storms, but it doesn't seem likely that a storm could take down a plane or ship without leaving any trace. People keep disappearing in this triangle to this day, and scientists still have no idea what's going on. While they were out exploring the Baltic Sea, they stumbled upon what appeared to be an enormous stone disk resting on the seabed. At first, they thought it might be some sort of ancient ruins, but after doing further investigation, they realized that it was a man-made object of some sort. They took pictures and video footage of the structure and posted it online, hoping that somebody might be able to shed some light on the situation. Since then, it has been referred to as the Swedish Stonehenge because it resembles the ancient standing stones that are found across Europe. But the problem with comparing it to Stonehenge is that Stonehenge was built by humans and this structure was found on the bottom of the sea. So, who made it and what is it for? Nobody has any idea. There's no historical record of anyone building such a large structure on the bottom of the sea, yet it's clearly man-made. Its purpose still remains a mystery. She was sailing along with a convoy of merchant ships from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil to Salvador, Brazil, when they decided to part ways and go their separate ways. The Cyclops was scheduled to arrive at its destination 3 days later on March 7th, but it never arrived. And after waiting a week, the Navy had no choice but to send out search parties to find the ship. The Navy sent out to destroyers to go and look for any sign of the Cyclops, but they would find nothing but empty waters. To this day, nobody has any idea what happened to the ship or the 306 men that were aboard. The most popular theory is that it was lost due to a terrible storm, but there were no signs of wreckage anywhere, nor were there any survivors. Some say it may have been targeted by German forces, but that also seems unlikely. And the strangest theory of them all is that it was taken down by a massive wave, similar to its tsunami, which would explain why there was no wreckage found. But this theory is highly unlikely. It's hard to believe that out of the 306 crew members and passengers, not a single person survived. And it's very likely that this mystery will never be solved. And there are so many strange and unexplained occurrences that have taken place in the ocean that simply cannot be ignored. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 5 of the creepiest unsolved mysteries of the ocean that will make you never want to go near the water again. But before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button for more great videos. Also, stick around for one if you want to hear one of the scariest ocean noises ever recorded. Starting off at number 5, we have the disappearance of the USS Cyclops. Next up at No. 4, we have the Baltic Sea Anomaly. Coming in at No. 3, we have the Bermuda Triangle. Coming in at No. 2, we have the ghost ship Mary Celeste. And finally, coming in at our No. 1 spot, we have the Bloop. Thanks so much for watching. That was 5 of the creepiest unsolved mysteries of the ocean.